Hey everybody, Joe here. Today I'm going to color this in and I'll see how that goes. Show you a little bit of my process, and I don't know if I'll have time today, but I'm going to be prepping this for sale on Threadless. So that's where I put most of my merchandise. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to make a new layer underneath my ink layer, and I'm going to call it color. Okay, I'm going to keep my brush tool. Let's make it, I think 30. Let's make it to 80. That's what I was using before, I think. Well, so in this color layer, first thing I do is I'm going to make colors of basic shapes. So I'm going to basically fill in, let's see, I think I want him to be generally green. So let's pick a green here. Just a basic green. And I'm going to color in everything that is green. And what I mean by that is, first thing I do is I draw an outline. Some of these things aren't going to be green, but I want the shape to be there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into its own channel, and then that'll let me select it later. I just want to make sure this thing all fills in. I don't want to ever not be connected, because what will happen is I'll fill up the whole screen with a color. And if I lose track of what is where my lines are, I did that because I wasn't sure where it was going to end in a solid black piece. Then I'd be stuck. So I think at this point, in this corner, what I'm going to do is I'll show you what I do. So I fill it, connect it, fill it with the brush tool, and that the brush tool is G, not the paint bucket tool. Sorry, paint bucket tool is I hit the G key. Come up and around. Make sure these things are connected. Sometimes I misspace edges. Let's come around here over here. That's a kind of an inside piece, I think. Yeah, let's go around. Keep following it. Let's actually connect this down, and then let's connect this over. I can hit G, fill it in. So, keep being weird. I think it's a, it feels like a, I don't know, a mantra for life, right? I think we're all weird in our own little ways. I think by keep being weird, we're going to keep being different. Let's not be the same. I think if we're all the same, boy, does that make it a boring world. It's the differences that make us, make us unique, make us feel alive, bring us joy. You can embrace the things that make you different, make you weird. I think the better off we'd all be. G. What's the spot here? Okay, since we're close, let's just do this. I think for this, it's pale. I like this brown here. A lot of these things are going to be, like I said, these are all real basic. Keeping everything basic at this point. So when I have my brush tool, if I hold down the Alt key, I can pick up the color from a different area. It'll become the eyedropper, and that'll let me pick up a color. Through follow up both of these sides here. Things going. I know that these thorns that I've got on this, the talon-like things, they're going to be a different color, but I think it'll help me a lot when I'm coloring, when I'm adding the detail color. If I keep them as being part of the shape. Just make sure that it's always connected. And it would demonstrate what happens when it's not connected, except I'm pretty sure that at some point I'll make a mistake and not have them be connected, and it'll fill the whole page. Because wherever it's not, okay, let's use this and move around here. Got this. Come down. Because I'm under the black, I don't need to be super exact. I know some people will use a magic wand and kind of select around things and fill in shapes. So I don't really want that tongue to be green, but that's alright. I'll switch to the eraser tool. Erase it out. Back to my green. Spot. Back around. And here we go. And here's the truth. See if we missed any spots. Didn't connect. Hit G. Boom. Okay, good. Fill it in. All right, let's go with an off-white kind of yellowish color. And let's go down here and let's make these eyeballs start with this color, I think. So I bounced over the edge over there. So let's hit G. Then let's select the green, select the yellow, come back around. These happy little eyeballs. And actually, I might use similar. I think I want to use the talons. They might be this color. Let's see, did I get all the eyes? Yes. Let's make the teeth this color too to start. And teeth. Oh, didn't select it. Didn't reselect the yellow. It's still on the green. So these teeth start as a yellow. That will help us add highlights later. Edges a little bit too much, but that's all right. At this point, okay, I'm going to pick a, let's kind of go with some kind of a purplish red, but I want to mute it a little bit, lighten it up for the gums. So there's a little bit of stage. It's real basic colors. Just solids. Oops. I hit my F key, which changes the ratio of stuff. I probably should be hitting that to begin with. But learning. Keep things going how they are. Alright, let's do this other one here. Let's hold that pink on my brush. Let's select this out. And then let's switch over to the yellow just because otherwise what will happen is I'll get too far away from a place I can select. And have to zoom out around. Oh, looks like I had a little bit of a green piece that I missed. And that's the nice thing about zooming in, kind of keeping these colors basic. I kind of feel like this ends up being a little bit of a pop arty style. Oh, I don't mean to say oops. I think one of the good things about art is that really, in terms of making mistakes, it's just all about how do you envision it. Are you going to be able to meet your vision? I think that's what it means to get better as an artist. I should come around here. Is are you able to create the vision you see in your head? Put yellow everywhere. Let's see. That's gonna work. A little bit of pink. And I think the sign's gonna be this yellow too. Here's a trick. Basically, now they're connected. The shapes are connected, but a lot of zooming in here. This way, we don't have to trace all the way around that. I should do it here too. I'll show you. Basically, now I've made a filled-in shape. If I fill this in, I just have to switch back, color in that green. Now we can kind of keep going. So I think I have the brown still. So there's a nice thing about Photoshop. One of the nice things is this palette here. And go back to some of the colors that I've used. If I haven't used a lot, and it'll give me the option to pick it. Kind of keeps the most recent colors. That's kind of a newer feature, I believe. Relatively newer. Let's zoom out a little bit. Hit the G. All right. Gotta fix these zones here. I should, before that, sometimes it'll lock up if I do too much of that pushing around. Okay. Let's zoom out. I think I have all of the basic shapes selected. Fix that. Okay. So what I do now is I use my magic wand, and I want the one that is the actual magic wand tool. And so I'm going to click here, and that's going to give me, it should, if I have it, the contiguous unchecked. So let's deselect. I'll show you what that means. If I have continuous checked, it's only going to select the area that's connected. But I want to select all of that color, so I'll just unclick that, and then now this should select all of the areas of that yellow. If I go to channels, I'm going to click this button here, which is the save selection as a channel. So then it'll make a channel for me. That way, if I can come back and just highlight that channel, and it'll give me all of that color. So now here's all the green. Go back to my channel. Hit that. Let's get all the pink. And hit that. Okay, now I've got the pink selected. Here's where I start to add in. I'm going to do Control H to hide those marching ants. I'm going to zoom in. Let's select that pink. And so with this triangle, the further I go here, the more saturated it gets. The further I go to the right, the more saturated. Further to the left, the less saturated. I want to make it darker, so I'm going to kind of go a little bit of a straight line here. And let's fill in some of this stuff. Let's make give us some shadows. Shadow zones. And then let's do one more level of shadow for this, I think. Through a little bit more up here. Same thing over here. Let's switch. So now I can go back to that first shadow color. Be a little bit careful that I'm connected. think I want that darker. This is where I'm going to be making a lot of subjective choices. And so there's nothing, since this is a creation, a creature from my mind. Okay, let's get this a little lighter. Let's put some highlights on this guy. This here, it's really kind of posterized color, right? Get out here more. All right, some highlights here. Okay, I think that's all the pink. That's all the pink, yeah. Yep. Okay, so if I want to reselect that the yellows, I can go here, Control, and click on it. Now all my that light yellow is all selected. So here's where I click that. I want this to be a darker color, so let's come through here. Since it's selected, Control H, you see the marching ants, it's going to basically mask it in. So I can be a little sloppy with the edge. This is the interior of the mouth. A little sloppy. Come up from the bottom here. I'm going to come through with a darker shade too, so go with the darker. Looks like right here I've missed a zone, so let's select that. I use my lasso tool, hold down the shift, and that'll give me. Sometimes that happens to me with the lighter colors. I kind of lose track of what's white and what's not. So this is all the subjective stuff. Come through with some lighter, lighten up the edges. Some of the same colors. Let's pick that dark. Let's put the medium tone first. Decide where the shading is, right? A little bit of a hatching style that I have here. Oh, see, here's another place where I missed a little bit. As I go through, things get more and more refined. These come up a little bit more. Let's come through. Get some shadows. So let's get that light tone. Select it, yeah. Come through here. Pick up some highlights. Want that darkest tone. Some shadows. Stuff in the back. Okay, zoom out. All right, let's select the eyeball. Well, the eyeballs are selected, so let's do. Let's start with one of the big ones. Okay, this I think. Let's go with the lightest color first. And then this will come through the same thing. Some shadows. And I think I'm going to make his eyeballs orange. Although we could probably make all of the eyeballs a different color. many eyeballs I have. If we embrace the rainbow. Let's see how many we got. ROY. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go with the red. See what happens here. Up here, let's go with the orange. Yellow. Okay, I want a green. Let's go with the light green. I don't know if this is going to work or not. We'll do it. We'll see if it looks dumb. I won't do it. If I think it looks dumb, I won't do it. Might go with all the same color eye. Let's see, zoom out. It's not bad, but I think I might go with this blue, and then instead of it being, eliminate the green, go with the purple. Alright, zoom in. Okay. So I want these to have some dimension though, so let's go with some lighter colors, and I'm gonna kind of a little bit of a scribbly look. Let's see. Pulling in some darker tones. Oops, I forgot. Let's undo that. Let's undo that scribble, because I want these. Let's go with the double. Hit my W. So for the right now we want contiguous. Okay. So I'm gonna hold down Shift, get the orange, the yellow, the purple, and the blue. And actually, it looks like this blue I kind of botched a little bit on. So let us use this color here. And select. Let's go back to W. Zoom in. Come on. Whoa! Way in. See, I got how I got that edge wrong. Let's go here. Let's do real lightly. Real light touch. Let's see how big that my brush shape is. Okay, now let's zoom out. Z tool. Hit the Z. Hit the Alt. W. Sometimes with my pen tool, my actual Intuos pen, it double clicks if I'm too hard on it. Put back to B. Let's go with a double, darker. And from the outside edge. No scribble. With a lighter tone. Now the highlights for the eyes, I will do in a separate layer. I'll put a layer above everything where I put the whites, the highlights. Okay. Let's do one more shade. I want it to be a little less dark than this. Wait, let's check this. Select that again. I want to keep the saturation up. Just trying to give these eyes a little bit of extra oomph. Something else is going on. For some of these shapes, we can actually do some things where we add a layer of shadowy tones. Some life, where I'll put a multiply layer on. Okay, this guy, I think, purple. I'm a little worried about the purple being really dark, so let's come through with, select that purple, and brighten it up a lot. Now, right now it's telling me it's outside of the gamut, but I'm not worried too much about that. I'm more concerned with, or I don't necessarily need the color to be exact. Let's put some other extra back in here. Color to be exact. I kind of want the contrast to be what it is, right? I like how that came through. Let's do that, a little bit of that here. Extra weird highlights. Come through with some more of that regular red. Okay. Now with the yellow, I'm actually going to use orange as its extra color. Otherwise, it'll just be different whites. Some dots in there. It's real small. There's this orange. We'll do the same thing. Some lighter tones. Okay. Those eyes look kind of neat. Let's save it, Control S, and let's come through. Let's select that yellow tone again, the big shape, and I want to zoom in because I only did a couple of the shadow zones. I didn't do shadows for all of these, and I think I'm going to add some pink to some of these colors here. I'm all dark. I think I'm going to add some of this pink to some of these bigger ones, just in the corners. Not a lot of detail there. Let's come through with this bigger, bigger zone. Get that pink again. All right. Now up here, since I have that yellow selected, I want to create the shadow shape. Let's do it so that it's connected here. Let's see, how is it going to go? Let's go with this. All right. Looks pretty good. No, I don't think it looks good. Let's do this. Let's get it closer. And should I do the whole thing? No. Should come through here. A little bit of white there. Come through with a little bit more shadow. Let's do that highlight up in the corner. A little bit darker here. Maybe a full. Oh, we want the. Let's get a shadow down here too. All right. I'm gonna zoom in because I think. Oops. Zoom in. I think. No, it's good. Sometimes my astigmatism makes things go goofy. Okay. I'm gonna do that lightest color here that I grabbed, and I think I'll make a real amorphous shape in the center here, and highlight that up a little bit, lighten it up. I could put a little bit of an edge on this paper too. Let's make a bigger brush. That kind of works. Too much dimension. So let's come through a little bit lighter. And I'll come back and kind of clean that edge up with this other color. Da-da-da. Like I said, some of these things are very subjective. I don't always work this far zoomed out. All right, I think that's pretty good. All right, now for the green, actual tentacles themselves. Okay. I think... do I like this green? Let's go with... we want to lighten it up for the most part. And I want to add some extra colors to it too. So I'm going to be a little sloppy at this point, because I want to see how these things lighten up. But I want to have some other colors in here so that it's more than just green. If that makes sense. Hopefully it will in a second. Let's get towards the yellow. Maybe lighten it up. Yeah. So we get some real weird highlights here. Maybe brighten it up. Trying to still follow the shapes in here. Give me an idea of what's bright and what's not. So I kind of work back and forth with these kinds of shapes. So these are not the final images. I mean, not the final like fills, I should say. There. Through on this. Okay, so let's come through with this. Let's go with a darker greenish blue, I think. Let's see what that looks like. Looks pretty good. Maybe just want to go with darker green. I like that other dark. Just kind of a bluish. I think that'll let me get to where I ultimately want to end up, which is with this like a dark that's kind of purplish. Purplish color. So let's go some more blues in here. One darker. So this is where, like I said, this is where we're going to be kind of making some selective choices here. Subjective choices, I should say. This is the right blue. Let's go total purple. Yeah. That's better. Let's fill that in. That way, get that dark green. Let's make it dark. Play off of that purple. I think. These choices. At some point, you just live with them. And one thing that I do normally, which I won't do here, is, well, maybe I will. No, I think I'm just going to do it for, would normally give myself kind of a, like, let it sit and not pay, like, not do anything with it, right? That shadow there. Some other. Let's get that color. I don't necessarily like that bluish tone. That purple. Come through. Actually, that might be the wrong, even the wrong purple. It might be too saturated. Yeah. Lighten it up a zoom. That purple up here. Give it a little bit of a edge underneath there. Underneath these shapes here. Mold it around. Maybe a little bit of purple up here. Just little bits. I want to make sure that color carries through the whole image. Doesn't have to be a lot, but then this is where we can add some different kind of, let's add some crazier things. Thank you. So, if I put the pink dots up here, if I give him that, I put some on here, comes through here, comes through with some lighter pinks, just as dots. That other green to come back, lighten it up some more. Let's come through with that light pink, some other pink dots in here. I want it to kind of carry through. Let's get these. We got some other purple kind of pinkish dots. Like I said, I want this to be more than just green. It's weird, right? It's got to be weird. Okay, now this zone here in this area, I think, needs a little bit of that darker green. Yeah. Then knocks it back a little bit. Now, one more thing I'm going to do, and I think it's let's use that color for the eyes that I used for the eyes for the thorns. I'm going to shrink my brush a little bit. Ooh, I had it way big. Let's go to 80. Let's shift into here. Through. Where the thorns are. And the reason I didn't color these before, my thinking was that I wanted them to be more a part of the tentacles. So the line, so I wouldn't necessarily use that color. And I want it to kind of fit better with greens, so we might make this a light green instead of light yellow. But at this point in the painting, in colorization, realize that I might like this more because it pulls that yellow around the image more. So let's look here. You know what I mean? I like the fact that these colors can be different zones. Fix this bottom edge here too. While I'm close in. Darker pink. Back edge. Created that texture from before, so I'm going to get that to follow through a little bit with the color. This is back here. That's back. Pointillism for some texture. Select the green. This is where the detail work of the color, I think, is what kind of starts this thing going. Shadows going through here, moving around. It's darker. I have to do a control save. Holding my hand funny. Shake it out. I think sometimes when I focus so much, you end up with those weird. You end up like cramping your hand. So I have to sometimes like kind of force myself to take a break. This color, let's clean it up a little bit. His lips, some extra highlights. Okay. Alright, let's. Well, oh wait, no, because I got all the. Oh, I don't have all of them. Colored. Oh, looks like I didn't put detail on that guy. So I might have to go into the ink layer and fix that. I want those striations on that guy. So while I'm thinking about it, I think that area is still selected as part of the green. So we can just go to layers, go back to my ink layer. I use the basic. Let's go. Get some zonage. Okay. Select this color again. Down. I think. Let's see. I think we're going to have these be a lot darker than the teeth, though. So I might go through and the shadows. Use more of the shadow tone. Get them all? I think I did. Okay. Start back at the top. Select a much darker tone. Oops, I forgot these. Be a little bit more careful. It's still selected. Anything in the back. I want to be dark. Zoom in more. Come on, bud. Da-da-da-da. So I think going forward, I don't know. I guess I'm not doing. I don't know if I'm filming these correctly or if I'm sharing these wrong or whatever. But I don't seem to be getting as many views on this type of imagery, or I should say, like, how to, or here's a sample. I didn't put the striations of this guy either. So back to ink. Couple lines in here. Switch back to color. I just heard my sister's dog bark in the other room, and sometimes he can be needy. If somebody goes in the backyard, he'll start to be like, "Oh, why didn't you take me?" I'm gonna have to, even though you're working, I have to come through, let you know. All right, let's go through dark. Okay, let's go to the left. Select my mid-tone. Dark. Tone. Dark. my head, I'm kind of trying to imagine these as if they're bull's horns or something, striations, like a horn material. Yep, you can hear him. Yep, you can hear him. But at this point, he's starting to cry. Feel bad. He's not. He's got water. He's got everything. He just right now he just wants attention because my sister family lives above me, and I think they're all either going to work or to school or ignoring him because he wants to go outside, look for rabbits. Feel that this zone. I think some of these might go darker. Some of these thorns. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's go with a little bit of a darker tone here, and then switch to mid-tone for the whole thing. Oh, that's not right. Mid-tone. Use this for these the whole images here. A little bit darker. Darker, but they're more underneath in shadow. Come through that darkest. Darkest tone. Through underneath. I don't know how I'm doing on time. I think that's another thing about this, about these digital creation videos, is they're really long, and I need to figure out how to edit them better. Over a little bit. Let's do that. Brace. Long and tedious. Oh, that's all right. Learning experience. Keep going, keep following through. Keep things going here. All right. Make sure I get all of these guys. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. Medium tone. Select the darker tone. Okay, we got them all. I believe so. Okay. Let's select this brown. Forgot to do contiguous. Oh, I got to do some texture up there too. Alright, so while we have this selected, let's go to this, switch back up to the Bein. Myself some wood texture. Back down to the, select some highlights here. It's kind of then I want to select some darks just to be a shadow. Let's hide those ants. Get some of that dark up here too. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Although at this point, I noticed that I want a little bit more green in here. Deselect over here. Select my green alpha channel. Oops. Back. Undo the grouping. I want to select that dark green. Hide the ants. Let's put that green in here. Zoom out again. That's a little bit better. I think these pinks that are down here, though, should be a little darker. A little bit for these other pinks. They're not super blowing out here. Here. Make sure I get that darkest green. That's some of these things here. Very precise in my nomenclature for parts of a tentacle. This thing and that thing, and over here, this other thing. And make sure that that thing's looking like this thing. Some of these edges. Let the texture kind of match. Would be nice. The last thing I'll do is add another layer of some shading. Okay, let's save this. Control S. And above the ink layer, I'm going to call this shadows. And it's going to be a change the mode to multiply, and I want to use a grayscale tone, and I think I want like a mid-tone. So this is it says like 67, 72. I know these, it's weird. Anyway, I like hue saturation blend, but then when it comes to like the levels of gray, sometimes throw me off. Okay, so I'm going to deselect everything, and I'm going to control click on the color layer, which will select all of the color shapes, but that way I won't draw outside of those boxes, right? And what I want to do is just add a little bit of a zone at the tops of these eyes, at least the big ones. To add a little bit more dimension to them, and maybe even some of the mouth parts here. Let's see. Drop those back. I think. Yeah, just a little bit. Drop them back some more. shadows. What's up here? Maybe add a little bit. Let's just add a little bit more shadow into this zone here. It's just a little bit light. Oh, look at that. I missed one of the thorns there. Nice. Let's zoom in and just oops. Zoom in, make sure we're on the color layer. Get some of these colors. We go back to that shadow layer, select my gray, and build up some of that, a little bit more of shading. Some of these zones. A little bit more rounded. Let's see if this does anything up here. Yeah. Do it. Let's do it. Okay. Save. Final thing is let's make another layer. I'm going to call it highlights. And let's use white. X. Let's decide what these eyes. Let's give them some. Zoom in on all the eyeballs. B. Switch to a smaller brush. 80. Let's do a couple of dots here. Tongue. Highlights there. Put a couple white dots there. Think. Let's see what happens when I. Oh, that's gonna be on top. I think that's it. So sometimes in my highlight layer, let's sign this thing. Let's sign it. This shape here. Actually, on that highlight layer, I'm going to put in some purple underneath this black, so that it comes forward just a little bit. Right? Couple of dark pinks. A little bit too black. Pull that forward a little bit. Let's zoom out. Look at it. I like it. Staying in the highlight layer. Zoom down. I think I'm going to sign it right here. So let's shrink it up a little bit. About 20. And sign it here. With love. There we go. Fini. So I'm going to do another save. And so I don't think I'll show you the whole process in this video of going to threadless, but what I will do is click off the background layer and then save this we'll save it just as a regular PSD file. But now I'll save it as a ping file too. So file, save a copy, and I'm going to save it as a ping, which is always, there we go. And this is my threadless folder, so there's a lot of different designs here. But we'll call it Keep Being Weird Copy. Now we want large file size. And that file should be ready for posting to Threadless. So I'll do a save. Although, now I'm thinking about it, there's one more thing I want to play around with. And that is this ink layer. So, because I tend to, sometimes I keep it as black, sometimes I can play around. Let's just real quick double click. I don't like that at all. But let's try greens. Let's try a green. Sometimes I'll add a gradient. Let's do this. Reverse it. Don't like it. Do not like that. Anyway, it's a way we can play around. I'm not going to do that for this guy. So he's got a black edge all the way around. It should be good for that ping file. Pings are, what's nice about a ping file is it uses. We better open it up and make sure that it's okay. Sometimes when I save it as a TIFF, the image can get a little bit off because of can be a little bit off because of the channels that I use. But so with the ping file, it uses transparency. It'll use a 24-bit transparency because I saved it that way. So these edges should be pretty crisp. And then now it can print onto different t-shirts and stuff, and it should be all good to go. So that will be another video. So thanks a lot, everybody. I really appreciate you watching. Hopefully you made it through this far. If you did, please be sure to give me a like, share this with your friends, and hey, check out my Threadless store, joeabarino.threadless.com. I've got a lot of different designs there, having fun, and so this one should be there shortly, and I will show you how I go about doing that. Okay? All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Love you all. And hey, if you can give somebody a reason to smile, you just might get to smile too. Okay? Take care. Bye. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take care. Bye. 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 Later.